Sanmonani, greetings. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Live Wellness Journey Conversation series, where I'm speaking to different people on their wellness journeys and practices and everything under wellness, really. Wellness is such a broad term, and we all approach wellness differently. We all experience wellness differently. We all have different practices. So this is what this series is about. My name is Unokuzola Tsholofelo. I am the human behind Planting Seeds of Wellness, which is also a wellness journey. And it's been so amazing so far. That's episode 4, and it's been such an amazing experience chatting to different people on their journeys and just how they approach wellness, because wow, there's no one size fits all, you know. So yeah, today I have Utulo. She's not online yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit for people to come through. Hey, Fashion Sangoma. Lerato. Just waiting a little bit. It's a bit quiet in this corner. Tulo! Oh, yay. Yes, Tulo. Let me add tools. This is Georgia and Marco featuring and it's called More and More. No, Lerato was just asking what's playing behind. Hey! Hey!
What's
Let
up?
there you go. Just waiting for a little bit.
That's okay.
Just in case there's more people listening in. Hey?
Audience,
I can't hear you.
I'm saying audience members.
Oh, yes. Just a few minutes, just in case. And then we can start. Yeah. A woman of good flame. Hello. Welcome.
Hi, Fifi. I see her.
Hey, Azania. Hi,
Hello.
sister. I think we can start now.
Okay.
Yeah. So how are you? How the feels? Is the music not disturbing you? Okay, let me just put it down a little bit. Actually, it's distracting me. Yeah.
Cool.
How the feels
Good.
today?
I'm good. I'm excited for today's conversation. Yeah, and it's also a sunny day. No heaters this afternoon.
Oh, yay. It is quite hot for winter. I mean, I don't think it has even kicked in that much so far.
Yeah, and it's a bit rough for me. Hey, I'm and like all these clothes feel really suffocating.
Right. Thank you so much for opening yourself up to this series. This is a safe virtual space. Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for asking me to be on. I was a little bit surprised when you asked me. Yeah, but I'm happy also.
Yay, bless. So Tshulo, how would you define wellness in your own terms?
Wellness for me is peace. And it's that sort of inner contentment, with all of you. So the chatter that's in your mind, the chatter that's happening in your spirit, and all the things that are happening in your body. That once all of these three components, and maybe I'm missing more, I don't know, as I grow up, maybe I'll find more.
Yeah.
All of these components being in sync with one another. So everybody that's inside this body is agreeing, and we all sort of have a direction where we feel we are going. Yeah, that for me is wellness. It's wholeness. It's completion.
That alignment.
Yeah, that togetherness.
Love it. Yes.
Yeah.
So when did you start your journey and what inspired it?
Weird question. I can say that ever since I was young, I've enjoyed a lot of the self-care-y stuff, right? So, growing up, to save water and time and whatever in the morning, you're just washing in your little vascom and then going to school and coming back and whatever. And I'd have these me time Fridays where I would like put water in the bath, add some lemons, lie there, have some candles, talking to
When was
myself.
this? Was it in primary?
Yeah, primary school. Like I think it was like 13 years old or whatever. I thought that stuff was really cool.
Nice.
I was like looking through magazines, trying to find like stuff to put on my face, make me look fresh. And it wasn't even like beauty stuff, but it was that stuff that made me feel like I'm being nice to myself. And especially because I grew up with brothers, I was a bit of a tomboy. There was never like this really hardcore feminine aspect. And I think that those Friday evening baths were that feminine energy connection thing for me, and then older. And then I started on my Rastafari path, and that I think started my proper healing path. Like the whole finding yourself thing and finding your voice and finding what you want to do with you. So yeah, I don't know what inspired it, but I think it started there.
So becoming a Rastafarian played a big role on your wellness journey and just continue on the journey.
Yeah, it was very important. It was an important sort of self-discovery thing, and I've always been very vocal, and I've always been very clear about who I am. People who know me from a very long time ago, even if they see changes along the way, I'm still very much the same Tsholofelo, But that making that move was me rebelling against what I know to be normal culture and what I know to be normal religion and normal ways of looking at things. And that gave me the guts to keep asking questions, which I think is very important for any journey of growth.
And then any challenges on the way, like just some challenges while you were on this journey?
That's a question. I'm always falling flat on my face. Truly, because it's not a linear journey. There's not one right way. And sometimes what worked for me last year is not going to work for me this year or next year. Um,
Exactly.
right? So
Mm.
I don't know if I had challenges, but I did have new lessons. Um, and there were things that happened in my life that forced me to learn new things or
Mm.
forced me to look at the world in a new way. Like 2011 was a very hard year for me. In January 2011, I had a ruptured ectopic pregnancy, which is like when your baby is not growing in your uterus, but is growing in the fallopian or elsewhere.
Mm.
And then I think after 8 weeks, it exploded because it was just too big to be housed in there. Um,
Oh.
so that was quite an experience for me, it's this near death type of thing and incredible
Oh.
traumatic spirit. And, that's where I started changing a little bit. And my beliefs started changing. And then, the end of that year, my younger brother was murdered. Um,
Is this the
you,
same year or the following year?
Same year. So
Yo.
January had the ruptured ectopic. December of the same year, my brother passed away.
Yo.
And ever since then, I have,
Uh,
yeah, in the same, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I haven't really been the same since then. And I think that's
You
that's
can't
where
imagine.
that's where wellness started becoming, how can I say it? I started looking at it in a real way. That it's not just about following some practices in a book. It's beyond my vegetarianism.
Such an important lesson, even for myself.
You
Yeah.
know,
Uh,
because the books are nice, they're great, they teach us
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
but having to go through things that really hurt and that really shake your world. Um,
Mm.
my brother's death was probably the most traumatic thing I have ever been through in my life. Like it's probably the most like I didn't know what was happening. And this was 9 years ago, and for the first time in 9 years, I feel like I'm coming to terms. I'm coming to an understanding that makes my acceptance a little bit easier, and that makes you know that that gives me a softer perspective. Let me put it that way. Gives me a softer perspective and challenges my old beliefs and requires me to come with new ones. One
Mm.
serve me now, not the me who had a brother, but the me
Mm.
who the brother. What beliefs are going to service me now, and
Mm.
help me now to get through.
And just moving forward, because such traumatic experience at just in 1 year is enough to just change your life forever. You can't be the same person. You can't see things the same. And sometimes those things actually happen to sort of like really shift our realities from the old into just this completely new territory. Where
I
you keep discovering yourself as well, and your shadows and your weaknesses and your strengths. So and it's
Yeah.
been 9 years now, yeah.
Sorry?
It's been 9 years.
It's been a hard 9 years. It's been a hard 9 years, but also I'm grateful for some of the lessons. I'm grateful for for the things that I've learned. I've had to challenge my beliefs about God, my beliefs about good and bad, my beliefs about justice, my beliefs about reward and punishment, and all of those really tangible concepts that
Mm. Mm.
like justice is not always so tangible. it's not always what we think it looks like. And sometimes we have to find it. You, uh, sometimes there is no closure. Sometimes there is no proper goodbye and putting down the bag and moving on. Sometimes you just have to jump in. And that's what I felt like it was for me. I don't think I've ever been prepared for such a thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to that courage to create your own reality for your own wellness and your well-being.
And speaking about creating your own reality, as a wellness practice, you use a lot of creativity, yes. And so, how has creativity contributed on your wellness journey?
So I've always been someone who writes, right? And who's always used art in some or other way in my life. From my self-care bath times, my mom was always buying me books to write in, journals to write in, pens. That was my gift. Every year, every time she thought to buy me something, it was that. And she'd always say to me, you have such a good way of putting things down. You have such and this thing really seems to touch you. And it did. For a very long time, I've been able to use art to be able to let things out. And as a theater practitioner, the theater had become so instrumental to my life. It is that place where you can really be anything. This is where your imagination and even your empathic self has to come to the fore, right? So I'll make an example. When we are doing playmaking, or when we are doing, characterization and stuff like that, we are not pretending to be someone else. You can never be someone else. But what the actor does is that they empathize with the character that they're about to play. So you read this person, you read their life, and no matter what your beliefs are as the actor, you let them go. And you give your character the chance to come through. And self the chance to empathize with someone without having to judge them. Right? And then that's how you also remember that everything is inside you. We watch movies and we believe them. Those people are none of those characters. But what they have done is show us that the human being can be anything. Change for me tomorrow. I could be incredibly good. I could be incredibly bad. I could become a nun. I could become a prostitute. I could be other. I could become a killer. I could become. There are all these multiple things in the universe. And all those multiple things are in us. Biology is no different, where every atom is carrying everything, and everything is in every atom. It's the same with the human experience. And what art does is that it gives us a release that I don't have to be Tsholofelo right now. I don't have to be the Tsholofelo that the world wants to see. I can be any.
Yes.
Mornings, part of my wellness routine is sometimes to dance.
Yeah.
No apparent reason. For no scheduled, it's not to get fit, it's not to do whatever, but I find that when I give myself moments to just play music and there's no one else around, I mean, I'm not a dancer, but spirit becomes lifted when I move around the room, and it feels like I'm flying, and it literally feels like, I'm talking to I don't know, like there's something that I'm talking to. There's other things in the room. There's other people celebrating this moment with me. And it gets the body going, like it gets you in tune with everything that is inside. It's important. It's important to find a creative outlet, whether you're a
Yeah, especially whether you're creative or not, because I mean, we're all creatives, you know. It's not for just it's not just a gift or just for if you're talented, you know. And it's not just for creating because you need to put it out there somewhere for people to see, you know, or for people to actually experience. You know, it's actually your own creativity that actually builds opportunities around you. It's also just like a reflect. You can reflect back to your creations, whether it's tangible or not, and how you've grown from them, and the opportunities that have actually come through you having a creative outlet, you know.
And creativity it's who we are. We are here because of creativity.
Yes.
Is continuously coming up with stuff. There's a new bug that they find. There's like all these sea creatures that we have not named. The earth is continuously busy making, you know, we are no different. We are not this civilized thing
Exactly.
in the we are part of this incredible place that keeps renewing. I think creativity helps us with that also. You have to renew the spirit. You have to renew that child that is inside you. You know, when I look at play therapy, and I look at how therapists use play to help children to learn, but also to help them talk. You know, even in drama therapy, where the child actually now feels safe, that I can take the toy and I can tell people my story via the toy, but I don't need to say it's my story. We can just act things out, and I can pretend it's someone else's life, but I'm actually using this moment to tell my life. This is what children do. You know, hey, watch them when they're playing and they're pretending to role play. Mang Mang is uncle, Mang Mang is auntie, or Mang Mang is whatever.
Up, you know.
The stuff that they do while they're
Yes.
is what they've observed.
Baking with sand, you know, and building homes and trees, you know, like having like a room, and like that's what we did when we were growing up. Everyone, the tree was a house, and we all had a room, you know. So yeah,
You know, like you get to express your own ideas, and you also get to express your real life. It's incredibly important. We were doing a workshop once with children where we asked them at the introduction, we gave them all sorts of sticky tape and whatever. And we're like, you know what, guys, we don't know you. Here's some sticky tape. Show us where you live, you know, draw your house, or show us the kind of house you would like to live in, you know, because it's hard to ask a 5-year-old, where do you live? How does it feel? Do you feel caged? Do you feel however? But the minute they started drawing with sticky tape on the floor, you could see the congested spaces, and you could see a
wow.
beliefs by what they put there. You know, one cross and be like, yeah, I live next to the church. One put a what's this, a crescent. He's Muslim, you know, like just simple things that they show you from their daily life. They're not so invasive. Who are you? What are you doing? Where do you live? And they don't feel shy to answer. But the minute they can draw or use some color or, you know, express it physically, it changes.
Mm.
It changes, and they start to become more aware. Once we
Mm.
start to play a little bit with ourselves and get
Mm.
over discomfort,
Mm.
to feel certain things we've never felt before in our bodies. We start to feel sometimes pain, but sometimes
Mm.
immense joy that's been
Mm.
trapped in the bones, and that's been trapped in the cells, and that's been
Mm.
trapped in the heart. Because,
Mm.
as adults, we're living these serious lives where we have to pay bills, and, it's not always funny, and, you don't.
It requires you to be serious. And if you play, you start feeling bad that, hey, I'm playing now, and you feel that, hey, I've got bills to pay. I can't play. Like muss asizele ukuzodlala lana. You
It's
know?
it's a
Mm-hmm.
little crazy. I mean, I'm those people also. I'm
Of
still
course, yeah,
I feel
learning.
really bad when it feels like I'm acting fool, but I should. I should. Like, people don't understand how important lightening up is.
It's a
Um,
practice. It's a practice that we need to cultivate we need to incorporate in our lives.
every single day. Like, it
Mm.
helps us accept mistakes. So this is the nice thing about the creative journey, that the first time I do it doesn't have to be right,
Mm.
because I'm learning, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
It's a
sharpening,
creative process.
right? And also, I never really know what the end result is going to be. I never really know, even with my dolls, I use the same template. I use the same exact template to glue on the eyes, glue on the mouth, glue on the nose, but they all come out incredibly different.
Mm.
Remains the same is the joy that comes out of the creative process.
Yes.
Joy
Amen.
comes out of expressing myself. Like I say, I
Amen.
dark colors all the time. I prefer them, hide a little bit. But when I have these guys, hi guys. When I
Hi.
have, hi, I have freedom to do all these crazy things. They
Mm.
are me. They are all my little personalities and all my little dreams and all the things that I cannot be in the adult world. Um,
Mm.
and I have complete fun with myself, like I sit here at home, I talk to myself in the mirror, I'm giggling, I'm writing little stories, telling them to myself, talking to my dolls. I mean, I remember when I used to study, I would put my stuffed animals there, talk to them, break down the concepts, we break it down together.
Yes.
you know not real, but it is.
Yeah.
And completely
Yeah.
purge. It cleans you up inside. Like, it's like watching a movie that completely touches your heart and you cry, or you're watching a play that makes you just bawl on the inside. You know
Mm.
that the movie is not real. You know that the people have rehearsed for months and months. You know that they are paid to cry like that. But what is real is the underlying human experience. And
Mm.
it is in that creative experience where we get in touch with maybe emotions that we wouldn't have gotten in touch with.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Watching fiction or watching
Mm.
art or watching games, or they all come into that human experience and
Mm.
make me feel things that maybe I've picked away somewhere.
Mm.
Things that are important to feel, things that are important to dabble with,
Mm.
um, and that we
Mm.
are too proud in real human life to go through or to express. But
Mm.
the creative space can give us the freedom to close our eyes and be whatever it is that we want to be for that particular time.
Yeah.
And just
So,
be so that we can get whatever lessons. I
that are
find
available.
we have this vision which is incredibly dangerous for
Mm.
growth.
So, Tolo, how can we cultivate and nurture that creativity in our adult lives?
So simple things, like basic simple things. You I've got paints that I bought from like what Checkers for like $20. I can't paint to save my life. I can't draw a stick man. But just taking some paint and taking some paper and playing around with colors and not necessarily trying to make anything, but seeing where the things are taking me, I find it's quite therapeutic. Um, what's also therapeutic is writing. And it doesn't need to be a poem. It doesn't need to be a diary entry. It doesn't need to be a story. But it's just those things that I can say whatever's coming out of my mouth.
Mm.
Red, blue, green, yellow, red, blue, green, yellow. And I make a song. And I make a song. Red, blue, green, yellow, red, blue, yellow. And I make a song. These things,
uh,
they bring a lot of joy.
they do that. It brought joy to me just listening to that.
It's like I don't have children, so I love talking with children. I love bringing them into my life because they have all these strange ways to make people happy. You know, they've got all these strange ways to make people happy. I was doing a research project now on how children are feeling regarding COVID and being indoors and being at home. A lot of them miss playing and this touching of other children and this hugging and pushing and giggling and I find that as a theater maker, it's exactly what I miss too. I miss being in a room with people where we are trying stuff. It doesn't have to go anywhere. No one has to see it. We may never be these like master theater makers, but being in the room and coming up with possibilities is so healing. And I think that is what I am missing now. Like that's I'm missing laughing with the children. I'm missing them, you know, asking the honest questions that like, but ma'am, something like this, but ma'am, aren't you scared to make a fool of yourself? But ma'am. And once they see that you are so willing to make a fool of yourself in a space, they come and do the same. And by the time people leave your space, after all this playing around and mucking around, you find that the energy has lifted. You find, I don't know if there's a scientific thing for this, I don't know. But what I know is after we have gotten out of our egos and our masks and our personalities, and we become these childlike spirits, that's when our dreams come back to us, and our possibilities come back to us.
Even spending time with children also can help us cultivate and nurture the creativity within us because they are just more in tune with the creativity. So I feel like just spending as much time as we can, with children can really accelerate, our creativities at home.
And what it does, they also teach us that element of play and the element of creativity teaches us the lesson of non-judgment.
Yes,
Right?
yes, so important.
We are judging all the time.
Yes.
Adults are busy,
Because we judge ourselves as well.
a lot. Like a lot. I find that even when things are supposed to be fun, like when we have plays for small children, like excuse me, plays for 6-month-olds or 1-year-olds, you know, because yes, there are plays for them too. You'll look
For
at the
what?
parents, yes, like babies crawling. There are
Oh.
shows where they're the audience members.
Oh.
I like to watch the moms, right? And the mommies will do this thing of like trying to force the child to laugh, or
Oh.
if the child is laughing and the other kids aren't laughing, the mom will try to stop the child. There's always this mediation of how people should express themselves. I always have to go back to the parent and be like, leave them alone. It is
Let them
what it is.
do.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. And I feel like parents need the same. Need the same. We need to go into a place and feel like if this is funny and I'm the only one that thinks it's funny, I'm laughing.
So be it. So be
I
it.
don't think it's funny. Well, I don't. Because children, up until we teach them, that they have to behave a certain way in certain places, they're doing whatever. Right? They're doing whatever. And as much as, yes, we need to learn how to, we do need to learn social etiquette. We do need to learn how to treat other people. We do need to learn those fundamental things. But I also think we need to unlearn this cagey behavior where fear is not good. Fear is not good for the creative life. Being scared of what people will say is not good for your creativity.
Oh,
You
it will.
will not do anything. And you become trapped in your own dreams and trapped in your
Oh, man.
and trapped in your own personality, right?
You become caged and you just, just peeping and looking over at other people's lives and just, suppressing that's in you, that's in all of us.
Right.
Just to bloom and thrive.
It's very, yeah, adults, they think art is a waste of time. But they buy earrings made by artists. They buy prints designed by artists. Their furniture, their magazines, their billboards, the television that they're watching is all people who are artists and who are giving the world something to enjoy.
Yes.
Something to look forward to. Something beautiful. Nature is just like that. The daisies don't need to be yellow, but they are. The roses don't need to be red. Everything could just be brown and black and we move on. But all this variety. And I'm sure it has a biological purpose. I'm also very sure it has the purpose of bringing joy. That when I look at something beautiful, that it touches me and it softens me. I view creativity in that way. I view art therapy in that way. That it softens us up to the human experience. And we don't have to be these robots that are always moving, that are always up to something important. I think it's very violent to be forcing people to be important time. Be myself. Why can't I just enjoy that which is around me? Why does everything have to be this constant struggle for achievement? Toxic to the spirit. And we do it with wellness also. It's not just in corporate spaces where we have this what to achieve. It's like, oh, if I can't do whatever yoga pose by 3 months, then maybe I'm not doing this yoga thing well. Or
stop.
Right?
And then you just, maybe yoga is not for me. Or that goes for anything. You just try something, you want to master it because you're comparing it to someone else or whoever is talented, but you are not just like looking at how this is improving my life and how this has brought so much opportunity around me, how this is shaping me, how this is so good for my mental health, because creativity is also really good for mental health. It's great for anxiety. It's great for cognitive health, especially in elder people, you know, especially for abantu abadala. They need to also continue with their creativity because it helps. Because there's that notion that abantu abadala start being slower, you know, the more they grow, you start being slower. But creativity, you know, keeps that spark going, keeps that cognitive health alive, you know.
I'm glad you mentioned that, especially for old people and especially for younger people, that you know, even I'll use an example of something like crocheting.
Yes,
You know, it's a skill, but it's also an art.
yes,
The meditative process of
yeah,
just looping and pulling, looping and pulling,
yes.
looping, looping and pulling, how it calms people. You know, I look at when I'm challenged to do creative art lessons with 3-year-olds, when I planned to do for 10-year-olds. I'm sitting thinking, yeah, how are we gonna get these guys to calm down? But the minute they have whatever it is in their hands and they're thinking in their own minds about, okay, where am I gonna put this button? Where am I gonna put this thing? Where am I gonna? The room starts quietening down and
Mm,
people start drawing slowly, slowly into themselves. You know,
mm,
um, they start quietening the mind. And like,
mm,
you know, now it's not about perfection. It doesn't matter whether I have the best puppet or not, but it's about
mm,
what is my process,
mm,
my what is my expression.
mm,
Carry a lot of trauma, you know. Even just seeing one of the comments here now, you know, about carrying trauma responses in our spirituality,
mm.
carry DNA in our very cells, in our very atoms, fight or flight. Fight,
Yes.
flight, or fix or something, but there's always like an agitated response.
Mm,
There's always a constant need to do something.
yeah.
Uh,
So
it
we
is a
are running out of time now,
no.
right?
See, in my
Oh my
rambling.
goodness. I know, like what? So do you want to share anything, like just closing off, anything you'd like to share with us, just to a takeaway?
Anything I would like to say, give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance and play, you know,
Yeah, yes.
where you can. If you're in the kitchen and you feel like that there's a heart song, do it. If you feel like you want to shake your body sometimes, I do that a lot. I've got this little victory dance thing. It makes no sense. It's now gotten to the point where it happens in public. And it's it helps me shake it all out. But be kind to yourself, to give yourself the chance to play. There is nothing that will teach you more about yourself than playing around and mucking around and laughing around, you know, and just having fun without expecting anything. I think our expectations are hurting us and they're not
Mm.
giving us a chance to
An
open up.
external and validation, an external validation.
Yeah, like it's not giving us a chance to really formulate our path. You know,
Mm.
mine specific to me and my spiritual DNA and my trauma and my PTs and my everything. Like we need the chance to create ourselves again and to build ourselves anew. Um, the past is gone, but the
Mm.
future hasn't happened.
Yes,
That's
amen.
where the opportunity is to create our tomorrow because it doesn't exist yet. I don't know if there's such a thing as destiny. I don't know, but
Mm.
I don't think so. I don't know if I will be here tomorrow, but
Mm.
I do know what tomorrow will look like. And I will try my best to
Yes.
paint own tomorrow, you know?
Mm.
And that even if you don't have all the tools right now, even if you don't have all the 3, 4 paints to make your other colors, the more you make your colors, the more it'll come. The more creativity you use, the more you will have. The less you use, the more it will diminish. So keep,
Yeah.
so that you can keep making and keep reinventing, and don't be
Wow.
afraid of something else.
Yo, truly. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for opening yourself up. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful conversation, on this beautiful journey. And yeah, thanks, Tsholofelo. Bless you. Blessings for your journey.
Thank you.
Always.
And everyone else who's also watching, we're all in this together, everyone. Like, it's a really strong time. It's a really special time.
Yes.
Doing all of this that we're doing. It's important for all of us.
For all of us. Yeah, yeah. Give thanks.
Bye.
Bye.